All right, so we are now on our 1A.2 making predictions of linear models. So we're going to review, do regressions, talk about regressions, and talk about residuals eventually. That's our plan. So up first is our review. So the little paper that you got, it folds in half and makes a little booklet. Okay. This little booklet is going to go in your handy dandy notebook on page number 4. Okay. So it folds in half, and we're going to put this in our notebook on what page? 4. Number 2. Okay, that's cool. If that's what your heart tells you to do. Okay. Now we're going to go through some of the stuff on here because this should all feel like a review. This is when we say review part. I didn't want you to write it down. I wanted you to like look at it, get a whole glance of it, and then like, yeah, I remember doing this. Yes. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. And this is going to be what page again? 4 in a handy dandy notebook. Okay. Handy dandy notebook. So we're going to put this on page 4. So up first, we're reviewing slope. Do we remember slope? Yes. Did any of your teachers draw slope man? No. What? Slope man. We're gonna draw a face. So there's your face, right? Yeah, eventually you will. So on slope man, you have your eyebrows. Your eyebrows can be positive or they can be negative, right? You have your nose. Your nose is your negative slope. It's undefined. And then you have your mouth. And your mouth is your slope of 0. It's your, nope. Anyone ever seen slope man before? Huh? So we have a positive, with negative. We have our undefined. And then we have our constant. And there's slope. Okay. Yeah. Remembering that a little bit? No? I don't know. I mean, that's the gist of it. But you get the slope man. Here he is. Full effect. Okay. Next is the slope equation. So graphically, you learned it as rise over run, right? If I'm counting how much a rise. Did anyone here fall over crawl? No. Because a lot of times you think you always have to go up, but you don't. You also can go down and then go. So you can fall and crawl just like you can rise over run. Okay. So M can also equal a fall over a crawl. Okay. And then we have our equation to find slope. Equation to find slope is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Yes? Remember that? Given 2 points, you can calculate it? Yes, you do. All right. It does not matter if you write it as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 as long as they are paired correctly. Okay, vertically paired correctly. All right. Does this ring bells? A lot of bells. Yes, I hope so. Like a lot of bells going ding, 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 ding. All right, perfect. Up next is intersections. Do we remember intersections? Yes, we do. Okay, who would like to read the yellow box for us? Hit it. Perfect. We're looking for where do we cross our axes? Axis? Axis? Doesn't sound right. I think it's axi, like for plural. We're gonna go with that. So for example, when we look here, our y-intercept is at? Is at 2. So when we write it, it's written as 0, 2. That's because when you write a y-intercept, that means your x equals 0 and your y is a value. Yes? All right. Our x-intercept here is at -1. We write it as the ordered pair of -1, 0. That's because when we write it as an ordered pair, you have an x value and a 0 for your y. Yes. All right. So graphically, we remember how to find. Does anyone remember how to find algebraically? Algebraically? No? All right. Don't think so. It was one of our Kahoot questions. But algebraically, to do it, that means you're substituting in 0 for the values. So if I wanted to find my y-intercept, I'm going to let x equal, where's my pen? We let x equal 0. Does that make sense? So if I'm looking for the y-intercept, that means I let x equal 0. If I'm looking, y-intercept, let x equal 0. If I'm looking for my x-intercept, I'm going to let y equal 0. Because that's what their values are, right? And that's how you find it, as long as you remember the ordered pair, so you can easily calculate algebraically. All right, next, our linear equations. Do you remember our linear equations? These two are the ones that you use most commonly in Algebra 1. Okay, so you had your slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept means that you are given y equals mx plus b. So you're given the slope and you're given the y-intercept. So if I told you that m equals 2 and b equals -4, could you write my equation? Yes, what's the equation?
Y equals 2x minus 4.
-4. Easy peasy, right? Okay. Point slope means that I've given you a point and I've given you your slope. So I've given you your point and your slope. So here, our slope equals, let's say, -3. And someone give me an x value. 4. Give me a y value. 5. Okay. So now I have these values. These represent your x1 and your y1. So you plug it in, and I did not leave myself enough room. Hopefully you have room on the bottom of yours. Do you have room? Yes. So we have y minus 5 equals -3 times x minus 4. Easy enough? From there, could you easily simplify and get y by itself? Yes. We would distribute and combine. Yeah. Yes, we can. I believe in you. You're in this class for a reason. All right. Review. How did the review go? Yes. We feel confident, good about the review. Any questions about slope, intercepts, or linear equation? Nope. I was when algebra was okay. We were okay there. Awesome. Okay. So this is going to go on page 4 in your handy dandy notebook. And you can just title it Review, Algebra Review. Okay, so we're now going to apply your prior knowledge, and we're going to do so by solving this problem. In your notebook, we're going to be on page 5. So in page 5, you're going to title it Cup Stacking and Counting, and this is where you're going to be doing your work at for this problem. All right. So we're going to popcorn read this. One person read one sentence, then another person reads the next sentence. So I'll get us started, and when I finish my sentence, someone else has to be up. Got it? All right, so it says, Shing works in a convenience store and has to record the inventory of coffee cups that are currently in stock. Yeah, not reading. Pop, somebody else. Oh. Mm-hmm. Pop. Pop. Perfect. Look at that. Look at us doing popcorn reading. Been doing that since 3rd grade, guys. Did y'all teachers not do that? Popcorn reading? Yep. Oh no, we just had to like let it pop. Because my teacher's like, you never know which kernel's gonna pop. That's what she said. So but no second is what we're doing. All right. So we're going to analyze the data that she's given to us. So in our notes, we're going to create a table and create a sketch. So she measured 1 cup and the height is 6.8. Then she measured 2 cups and the height is 7.4. Okay. We're going to create a table of values and plot them and write an equation that can be used to represent the scenario. For your graphing, I'm going to come around with little graph sticky, so you don't have to draw it. I'm going to give you a little sticky note. That's a graph, okay? So that you can add it to your notes and create the graph. Got it? All right. So we're going to make the table. So here's your table. And then on your table, I want you to write in the values she has. Then at your group, you're going to determine what would be the height of 3 cups, what would be the height of 4 cups, and then create the graph on your page. Got it? All right. So we're going to do that part, and I'm going to come around with your sticky. And no one told me I wasn't recording. It's cool. All right. It's okay. So here, all this work that you've done, good job. All right. So now you can choose any point. It doesn't matter which point you choose, but you're going to substitute in values for x1 and y1. So I'm going to change my color. I'm going to just use 1 and 6.8 because it's there. Oh, no, let's use 3 and 8. Prettier numbers, right? No decimals. 3 and 8. So if I use 3 and 8, that gives me y minus 8 equals, our slope is 0.6 times x minus 3. All right, so now we have our equation, and now we're going to solve for y. We're going to find our y. So to solve for y, the first thing we're going to do is distribute our slope, our coefficient. So that gives us y minus 8 equals 6/10 x. What is 6 times 3? 18, because there's a decimal, that means it becomes 1.8. And then what's the last thing I need to do to get y by itself? Add our 8. So what I do to one side, I do to the other. So our equation is going to be y equals 6/10 x plus what? If you have $8 and you spend $1.80, what are you left with? Six what? 6.2. If you have $8 and you spend $1.80, you're going to be left with $6.20. I used to jokingly say that I would open up a convenience store near a high school because I would get a lot of money, not from things in the store, but just for the fact that you guys would accept whatever change someone gives you. You wouldn't even question it. You're like, oh, that's right. And you'll be like 50 cents short every time. And then I'll donate the money to the school. I said, hey, we need more teachers. Plan. I know it's a smart idea. Giving back to the community and teaching a life lesson all at the same time. All right. How was that? Was that terrible? Creating the table, finding the graph, and finding the linear model. It was a little bit horrible. Okay. All right. So step 1, we made the table. Were we fine with the table? Step 2, we made the graph. Were we okay with the graph? Yeah. Step 3, we identified our slope. Are we good at 3? Okay. Step 4, we plugged into our y, our point slope form, y minus y1, ... Okay. And then step 5, we simplified. Yes. 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 But the reason why I showed you this way is because is it always going to be 1 to 0? No. So I want to make sure that we have the tool. If I started at 15, could you still get back to the 0 without repeatedly subtracting all the way to 0? Okay. All right. So based on what my value is, 6.2, I did not do a great job drawing my line. I went a little too low, below my 6. So pretend that it is here. Okay. All right. We're going to use our imagination. Okay. How do we feel? Was that terrible? I don't think so. All right. So in your next page, you have your partner activity. On your partner activity, this is going to walk you through, well, what if you have more than 2 or 4 points? What is a way that you can do this? All right. This is going to involve you using the calculator. So this method involves you using the calculator. And it's going to teach you a way, and hopefully maybe you should have did this. No, I don't think I did regression models. I don't think so. It would be very helpful, but I don't think I did. but it's going to be like just a discovery lesson and walkthrough of how to do it when there's such a large amount of data. All right. So you're going to work on this. If you finish this, which you probably won't, there is a Canvas assignment. But what you don't do, there are 3 attempts on it. It is multiple choice. You're going to show your work not on page 8, but on page, what page are we on now? 6? Page 6, right? You're going to show your work on page 6 in your handy dandy notebook. It used to be page 8 because I used to put table of contents in there, but then I took it out, remember, and now it's in the front. So yeah. But it's going to be on page 6. So your 1A.2 assignment is on Canvas, and it's basically practicing what we just did. But right now in class, you're going to be working on your partner activity, which involves using the handy dandy calculator. All right. Okay, that's it.